I don't know whether you've read it, but Robbery Under Arms by Rolf Boldwood is a great Australian adventure story of the 1800s, and it introduces us to the likeable rogue Captain Starlight. Now, Captain Starlight is believed to be loosely based on a real-life cattle thief called Harry Redford, and Redford's antics were so daring that they've also been written into folklore. Now, if you share his spirit of adventure, then you can get a taste of droving during an amazing annual reenactment in outback Queensland. The Harry Redford Cattle Drive has been described as the ultimate, authentic, true blue, fair dinkum experience. It leaves that mob from city slickers for dead. The drive takes place in a region where distances are vast and empty. Beginning at Lake Dunn in the central west, cutting down to Aramac, back up to a property called Bowen Downs, then pulling up at Muttaburra. I've wandered into camp in the afternoon of day 3, just as the stock is being rounded up and secured. Well, we're all settling in for the night, getting ready for the action tomorrow. Each leg of the Harry Redford Cattle Drive is open to guest drovers. You bring your best bush hat and your riding boots, and everything else is looked after. Okay, well, I'd like to introduce you to my friend for the next few days, or certainly today. This is Jolene. And maybe I'm a little special, maybe it's special treatment, but this is actually the boss drover's, one of his own horses. So I'm feeling very confident that I'm going to have a great ride today. People from all walks of life and with all sorts of riding histories have joined the drive. There's a vet, a horse trainer, and greenhorns without any sort of equestrian background. There we go, girl. We are all set. We're heading towards the town of Aramac, and we should do about 16 k's today. So, who was that bloke Harry Redford who inspired all this activity? As former boss drover Bob Marshall tells it, he was a 19th century character with an eye for good-looking cattle that didn't belong to him. The canny bushman used his talents to poach from some of the wealthier properties.
A bit of a rogue in his own right, I'd imagine. And he did a lot of stock work, horses, cattle, and he also lifted a few here and there along the way. But his big coup was when he decided, working around Bowen Downs, that he would lift a big mob from there and walk them through to South Australia.
Our journey lasts just a fraction of the 3 months or so that it would have taken Redford to make his way across virgin country. And we're leading about 600 head, a bit over half the number he stole. Okay, so the idea is that we're moving the cattle from A to B, but we're not in a hurry and they get to eat on the way. So it's actually quite a languid, slow, relaxing day, unless of course they escape, which I'm kind of half hoping for because I wouldn't mind a little bit of action. This change of pace appeals to Chrissy Knott, who first came out as a guest drover back in 2002. She enjoyed it so much that she's since returned every year as a volunteer. You're addicted to it?
I just love the country, I love the people, I just love everything about it. It's just so different to the Gold Coast, as you can imagine. And I just love it.
Were you horsey to start with though?
No, I'm a city girl. So I'd never ridden a horse, and my lesson was get on and hang on.
Never has dinner been more deserved than right now. But let me just clarify. Dinner in the bush is actually served at lunchtime, and what you eat in the evening is called tea. So we're pulling up for dinner camp. Oh, you looking forward to that? Meals on wheels. This is a luxury that Harry Redford wouldn't have enjoyed. He and his few men had to lug 3 months of supplies with them or scrounge what they could along the way.
Yeah, the thing with Harry Redford that made it such a brilliant feat, I suppose you'd call it, is he went followed down the Thompson River, evidently quite a good season, because further on down he went along the Strzelecki track. He actually opened it up. That's how they followed him there and opened that up. And you know, he only had a handful of people with him and 1,000 head of cattle, and that's a pretty big feat. And anyway, no matter about the criminal side of him, he was a bloody smart man to go with it to be able to pull that off. And yeah, you know, 10 years prior to that, Burke and Wills, they'd perished in the same country. But I mean, they weren't bushmen either.
We're travelling designated stock routes and each guest drover is responsible for tending his or her own ride. By the time the last of our horses are sorted, we've been on the go for close to 12 hours. Oh, it's a glamorous life out on the trail. This is my bedroom for the next couple of nights, and I will be getting out the thermals because word is it gets pretty chilly in the evenings. Anyway, I'll catch you bright and early tomorrow morning.